Well, hello everybody, this is take 2. I spent 10 minutes doing the tour, but at the very end I gave away a load of personal information about myself and I choose not to do that. So anyway, problem number 1. Using bamboo in the Ariège, all you do is you make habitat for wasps, and these are some angry bastards and I've been stung by them. The pain isn't too bad, but they need to not be there anymore. But I mean, what do? I've got to protect the glass from people falling in it to some extent, so it's a bit of a job. Nothing's really taken off so much in there. We've got some tomatoes planted up there. Ian and Adrian did a good job. But powdery mildew is going to be an issue. Look at all these slugs there's snails everywhere, escargot. We'll see if we've got time to go down there in a minute. Oh, I've just rubbed snail all over my phone case. Anyway, we've got a kind of virus now. Oi, vieni ici! A kind of virus or something going on in the haricot where they go like a weird kind of grey thing. I don't know what's going on there. Cat says hi. Butternuts are doing very little. This is very, very fertile. So I'm doing a whirlwind tour because I'd like to make this a 2-part. Got some febs, got the broad beans there, and I'll keep those for seeds. Mare de Bois, really big flowers. Really big flowers. And really big flowers mean really big fruit, so long as they're not eaten by the Asiatic fruit fly or anything else. I like a good sedum. Still, as you can see, we've got now rats. A bit of an issue. I won't walk down there because that's all the Gary gets dead. I won't walk down there because they're also Gary gets that are dead. I've noticed this one plant here with stolons, which could be Gary get, but I suspect it's an imposter. I suspect it's a Mare de Bois that got stuck in the mix. Potatoes have been eaten. I don't mind the Persicaria, but they're not going to do anything. So we do have strawberries. Not that one, but they're looking really, really healthy. Got to give them that. I'll show you this one one plant. Look at this. Freaking enormous. Full of bees, which is a problem I'm having in the polytunnels at home. But they're looking really lush, really good. No fungus, no fruit drop. No, you know, when the flower just closes up. So that's good news. I can't imagine I'm going to be a millionaire this year. Started to lose some of the black currants and red currants, the Gros Cassis. It turns out butter beans are not doing very well this year at all. Lavateria. So Mare de Bois seem to be the one. I think I'm going to let them make stolons, actually, and fruit, and just so I can repopulate those 2 terraces of Gary Get, because I suspect next year is going to be much the same. So we finally strimmed with Ian's help. He's done well. That first bit of prairie. So I can, you know, it's not a lot of green coming out of that. You know, if a plant is 85 to 90% water, then I've made a bag of compost maybe. But he's done up there as well, so we got all the chardon, the thistle down. That's all good. And it's so dry anyway. I'm not the only one who's not getting double crop of straw or hay this year. So I'm not too worried about that. Well, I am worried. I've literally got no money to even buy seeds or plants. You'll see that I've got so much bare soil. Not so much in the strawberry section because this is kind of how I wanted it, but raspberries are doing excellent. So not these ones particularly, but the ones downstairs. Topinambour, Jerusalem artichoke, always a win. This needs a good weed through. I can't remember what that is. So I've pulled off the peas. Giggity. Letting them dry in the sun, and I've done an experiment, and I promise you, it is possible. If you can dry the peas quick enough, at the end of the season, you can grow them again. I've done green and I've done sec. You can actually regrow the peas this year. No one's done that before, from what I gather. I've never read it in a book, but you can. So all of these peas will be resown to sweet. Lots of open space there as well. You know what I mean? I've got no money to put anything in to cover all of this. So all of those peas, they'll be dry in about 3 or 4 days, and then I'll stick them in, and then we'll just go and have a quick look at garden number 3. And if I can do this quick enough, I might be able to squeeze in the wonderful effort that we've made in garden number 2 as well. So yeah, we're doing all right. I don't know how much money I'm going to get out of this entire garden, really. No one buys the moutarde indien, the Indian mustard, even though that's the rocket. No one buys it. It's beautiful. It's peppery. Anyway, the Siberian quasi kales that I've been growing over the past couple of years are doing exceptionally well. So at least I've got cabbage. Now then, either these are an incredibly large dwarf haricot, these ones, the beans, or they're climbers, grandpa. So I've got to now make a decision on whether or not I rip them out. So what I've decided, because I mean the aubergines are coming into flower, they're starting to look stunted, they're not as tall as they ought to be. So I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll leave one side of the aubergine open, grow the haricot in the middle, and then eventually put some sort of structure up on there, and then rip the others out, in actual fact, so that I've got a bit of space for the bees to at least acknowledge that there are flowers of the aubergine somewhere in there. And there's a few, but they're not looking like they're getting pollinated. Thankfully, aubergine take a little while to show, and they're not like they don't need to get pollinated over the night. So I can lose half these beans that I don't want, but I can still do something with them. This is all looking very yellow and boring. This variety of aubergine is also not doing very well. But I'm wondering, is it because of the shade? I doubt it. Radish, no one buys it, so what's the point? These again, these are meant to be haricot nain, a dwarf, but they're clearly not. So that's a real shame. We did have flowers on them, and we've got some kind of fruits coming up, but you know, that's like a 4-month investment. Chili peppers are in, so you know, when I do my amazing gherkins, I'll be able to use some of them. Celery are doing okay. Again, so much for haricot nain, they are nowhere near it. So much for dwarf. Courgettes, very, very slow, but at least they're alive and nothing's seemingly eaten them, fingers crossed. Cabbages seem to be going to flower instantly, so that's a load of shit. Kohlrabi, they are forming, to be fair. They are forming. But these I'll have for breakfast for myself. No one eats them in this country, it seems. I mean, they grow them, but they don't eat them. And then I've got turnips growing underneath there. This is a little bit more shady, so these seem to be a little bit better. But we have got all of this in, so I'll give you the quick tour of that one. We've got, that is all full of cabbage. A good sort of 300 of them. Don't have a massive problem with caterpillars. Again, don't want to jinx it. But yeah, loads of free space doing nothing. Could have some courgettes or at least something in it. It's I'm being quick because I don't think people even bothered watching these videos anymore. I don't get any comments or any feedback. I don't get any sort of ability to discuss these things with people because it's just no one shares it. So I've got a couple of salads, pointless with these cagettes. It doesn't help. These are the ones that were growing in the polytunnels, but they're going to go straight to seed, so at least I'll get some seed. In there I got some pak choys. I did lose a whole crate of pak choy, but it looks to me like those pak choys are going to seed as well, so that's great news, isn't it? Everyone loves the seed of pak choy. But look, this is all doing okay. Like I say, this is all just sown Indian mustard. But anyway, final. I've been quite ill recently with some sort of gastric problem, which I won't get into. But so as you can see, this garden is now basically empty. We've had the peas, we've had the broads, we've hello dog. The stairs are rotten. So Cami, if you want to come back and have a re-go, that's cool. I have actually sown pashish. I have sown chickpeas in there. Look, the salads have gone up. Amaranthus is fine. We've gone through all the peas. It's all just chucked in there. This all is pretty much been raked down by Ian. Another good job done. And then what I'll do is I'll sort of feather that over everything. But I can literally walk across here and there's nothing worth keeping. Except these are late sown salads. There's quite a few, but not enough to sell, not enough to guarantee. Interestingly, clematis or clematis, depending on your breeding, is just everywhere in this garden. A real problem plant in actual fact. Must be old seeds in the soil. And then we've got these onions which we've done F-all. Consud, the comfrey, has come back for a second go, so that's nice. I can't give a lot of faith to any of this soil really at the minute. I don't even know what I could stick in here. You know, this whole bit of land has all been cleared off, which is good. You know, it's only going to feed it, but I've got this whole space ready for planting. Soil's good and fine. It's plenty rich enough. So the only thing I'm thinking is if I get a bit of a structural thing going on the side here, that's where I can get those last cucumbers, and the gherkins at a decent distance, obviously, growing on the rails like I did before with the petit pois. Again, I'm going to sow the petit pois. I just really don't want to grow them in the same place. Look at those poor sorry little salads. Look, this is what's going on all over the Ariège. That's what people are eating now. It's absolute joke. I'm keeping all of the walnuts trees that are growing everywhere because I'm just going to shade this whole thing off. Proper forestry permaculture thing going on now, thanks to the écureuil, the squirrel. So I don't know. And then I've sown off some more courgettes. But, oh, there's some nice little red salads there. So I've sown off some more courgettes, so we'll see if I can stick them in here. See, my feet are going in, but, the fucking ratopier, the champignons have found their way in. And thankfully there's nothing for them to eat, so, of any decent value. So we'll see. We'll see. That's my whirlwind tour. The idea with the hazelnut being planted up there normally works, but this year again, springtime too hot, then 4 weeks of rain rotted them, and then sort of 38-40 degrees in the shade. It's just too hot for these plants, and then of course that's not calculating, you know, how hot they are in the sun. Absolute freaking waste of time. I'm not even sure what I've learned. Maybe so late. it's been a really difficult week or two with one thing and another. I have actually had some good news. I have been able to buy the house, so that's good. The little house next door, I bought that. I mean, not with my money, but I've managed to have my name on the contract. Anyway, if this is the future, we are in trouble.